I mean, we were late in arriving yesterday to the end of the Heat game, and I wanted to talk to you about the differences in plus minus between when Bam's on the court and when Dwayne Dedmon is on the court, because the numbers are enormous. And the Heat played that game against the Suns. They played only 8 people. The Heat played that as if it was a game that really mattered to the Heat. And at the end of the game, I know the block is what everyone is impressed with, because you don't expect Devin Booker in a game-winning situation to get his shot that cleanly blocked with great defense, but I was just as impressed with how Jimmy then did the subsequent defense after that, where Devin Booker, he still could have won the game because those guys are amazing and what they can do. You would have had the situation where Booker would have made a shot against impeccable, beautiful defense because he hit the back of the rim, but I was as impressed with Butler after in the last 10 seconds when he kept closing Booker off and immediately wouldn't let him go to his left to get to an open space. Saw he had the help and just handled that situation impeccably defensively. But you're concerned in general about the Heat's defense, are you not?
So first of all, he played 8 players. That's because Tyler Hero was hurt. Max Strus had to start, and so the guys off the bench were Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson, and Dwayne Dedmon. Jimmy Butler, in that last possession, just incredible presence of mind. And Spo talked about it in the post-game presser. Just he's so goddamn smart. Like, that's the part that I don't think a lot of people think when they watch Jimmy Butler, because obviously he's physically very imposing, but the reality is he's just so goddamn smart.
I mean, the intellect, okay, in the last 10 seconds of the game for what he was doing with his footing by reflex.
He did it perfectly.
It was on Booker, and it's clear that he's got the scouting reports, and it seems like he's doing it instinctually in a spot where a lot of people have to do some thinking because the clock is running down.
Right. He claims it was all, like, he said, that's basketball. I wonder if, because here's the thing, every NBA team, or every NBA team worth its salt, has a video guy who is taping the last 2 minutes of every close game of every team in the league. And we call it the end of game tape. And so one of the things that we're reviewing before we go into a game, doesn't matter if it's regular season, playoffs, whatever, is we're watching the hell out of the end of game tape because we want to know what they like to run, where they like to send their guys, and where the guys like to go for their spots. So when I watched Jimmy do that, I was like, that's an end of game tape type play. It's like he's trying to get that elbow. I'm not going to. Now, because it's the NBA, you might know it and game plan for it, and the guy still rises up, hit the shot anyway. So part of that is Jimmy's just incredible reaction time and size and all that stuff allows him to block it. But a lot of that is just knowing he's going there, and I'm not going to let him get there. And then what you're talking about on the sideline for that second shot, I was like, he's going to try and come back this way. I'm going to push him back down.
The thing I saw, and I know everyone, so the pictures of the block shot are amazing with 10 seconds left and everything else.
But Booker had a second shot after that. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm not talking about just the second shot. I'm talking about you can't foul in that situation. You cannot allow, and you, so many guys have to think about, I don't want to get too close. I don't want to bump him. I don't want to hit his elbow. And he got right up in him, like wasn't going to allow him to dribble and get to the center of the court. Now, he had the double team there, but the way that he aggressively went at one of the quickest, best offensive players there are in the league and got up into him at the end without fouling him, I was just as impressed by the last 10 seconds as I was by the block.
I think we should stop being impressed with Jimmy just from this standpoint. And I understand what you're saying, but when he got here, I don't think any of us imagined that Jimmy Butler, for this sustained period of time, could be the best guy on a contending team. Well, you did.
Okay.
Thank
you.
You did. I'm talking about us.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And he's become that. And he's a good defender. He's a smart basketball player. He's a good offensive player. He's a good distributor. He's a good rebounder. But he's a leader. And I don't think anyone expected him to be such a great leader of a basketball team.
When he came here, I remember saying there's never been a greater fit between culture and a player than Jimmy Butler coming for a player who was not already part of the program. All the things that Jimmy Butler does that did in other cities that were considered to be toxic and caustic and all that stuff.
Asshole.
Right. Like here it's like, oh yeah, that's what we like to do too. It's a match made in heaven. And including, by the way, that toxicity when it reaches a point where coach and star player are arguing in the middle of the floor, and the coach slams the clipboard, and the team captain comes out there as the muscle and all that. Like, there are other organizations where like, okay, well, something's got to change now. We've lost it forever. And in Miami, it's like, that's a Tuesday. Like, that's important. Offensively, I was thinking about it the other night. I'm watching him like, this dude controls the tempo of the game.
Yes.
Like, everyone's trying to run, and this guy's like, nope, I'm going to walk it down. I'm going right there. I'm going to up fake. You're going to jump, and you're going to foul me, or I'm going to hit this 6-foot shot or 8-foot shot or whatever. And he does it again and again and again and again. It's insane. Bam comes on the podium. He scores 26 or whatever it was and went to the free throw line 14 times, 12 out of 14 on the free throw line. And the first thing he says, like, I was on my Jimmy Butler. Because that's what Jimmy does. Jimmy shoots 10 free throws or whatever it is a game.